What's up, guys? Yesterday, I posted a picture of a bunch of pedals laid out, building another pedal board. I've done previous pedal board builds in the past on here, kind of going towards the, the Hendrix or the SRV kind of vibe. And really, all the pedal board is now that I'm building is just moving some stuff around, trying some different combinations. It is inspiring, and as guitar players, I mean, I think we're always searching for something new. You know, I don't want to necessarily step out of my comfort zone. I'm always going to have a germanium fuzz. I'm always going to have a wah-wah. But there are some other things I've just been trying, different combinations, ways of running stuff, utilizing the wah-wah a little differently. And I figured I could just give you a rundown of the signal chain and how I have it set up. I'll talk about the guitars that I've been using during the quarantine, main stuff. Oh, using Strats, but kind of using them differently. And yeah, I'll just give you the full rundown what the amps are doing. And just like the title says, it's a rig rundown for the Riff. So I'll walk you guys through that now, maybe give some sound clips at the end. Peace. All right, so here is my humble pedal board. It is the Pedal Train Junior, I believe. And I was able to get everything on here, which I'm really happy about because it keeps everything on a small footprint, even though I have big feet. But I kind of set it all up so everything is accessible. But first things first, as I've done before, I'm just using this Keeley looper as a union straight to the fuzz. And I'm actually going into the MJM London fuzz first. It's an NKT 275 version. I really favor these old ones. It's not the box that gives them a sound. It's not the tone of anything like that. They're just warmer by nature. They sound really great. And I seem to like these. Nothing will compare to my vintage 1966 NKT 275, but this is really close. And I mean, for live stuff, for videos, for Instagram lives or stuff on YouTube, it does the trick. So I'm happy with that. Then we come over to the Zonk machine. This is a real one. I bought this on eBay a while back, and it was in complete despair. I sent the casing to my buddy Joel, and he was able to remove all of the black spray paint on this. And I sent the guts to Germ Fuzz on Instagram. He's a renowned builder of these style pedals, and he was able to give some life back into it while using new old stock components, and that was really, really great. I find it different from production Zonks of today. I have it set up so where it's set, if the guitar volume is full out, it's just a really snappy, ripping fuzz. It's smooth, it doesn't gate out. But as soon as you turn the volume on the guitar down the slightest bit, that's when you start to get those Octavia type tones. So I really favor it because it's like a different fuzz, and I can still get the Octavia if I want it. Coming out of that, we go into, this is a mid-60s Vox wah. Now this has picture wah guts in it, but it has a script bottom plate, and that's why I bought it. Small halo inductors, these certain transistors I really favor. Blue Arco caps. This wah's got tons of tone. I used this wah-wah on the burning of the midnight lamp lesson video I did on here, and it's also non-true bypass, and it kind of beefs up the signal a little bit where I would need it. So I'm using this for now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. As you guys know, if you follow the channel, you know I'm a wah-wah junkie, and I love wahs and fuzz, but this one's it's got some great tones, and it's serving a good purpose right now, so I'm digging it. We go into the Blues Power. Now, the Blues Power is something I've been using sometimes as a drive, sometimes as a boost, and sometimes to make the rig sound huge when I'm playing with a fuzz or a vibe or an Octavia. That's how I have it set up now for you guys that have them. I just find my tone to be really big that way. You can kind of get a real organic overdrive. It doesn't sound processed. Been a fan of it, been using it. I get asked a lot, what's better, the Duelist or the Blues Power? You have to keep in mind, this is a fat boost. The Duelist is a dual overdrive pedal, so you got two different purposes, two different functions. Coming out of that, we go into the old Bob Sweet vibe. This is number 98. I favor these because they have tons of extra volume and tons of extra intensity without losing the vintage feel, the vintage vibe characteristic. They are a little pricey. I have a couple of them. I try to buy them when I can at a deal. And it's just, it runs great. It does its thing. And that's all I really need. I have the old Univibes, and I favor those as well. But for a board and for kind of saving space, the Bob Sweet vibe is still big. I mean, it just does the thing. But as they say, nothing beats the old ones. Coming out of the vibe, I go right into this Echo Machine, this Ibanez. These have been popular over the last few years. LA Sound Design seems to have them on every pedal board he builds. They're really, really great. And there was a while there you could find these for under $100. But they just stay warm. Doesn't really alter the sound too much. Kind of does what like an old Echoplex would do, but not really a lot of fog with the preamp. It's just a really great, good trailing off Echo, and it does its thing. So I just have that on there for a little ambience. And into the Korg tuner. I have it mounted on here for ease of access. It's not in the way of the speed pedal if I need to control it, and I can still function the intensity in the back there. And everything is just working. They do the job quite well. I have Pedal Power 2 underneath the board mounted. The Univibe is plugged into the outlet, the secondary outlet on the Pedal Power 2, and everything is run off of 9-volt sources. The only thing to mention is for the Fuzz and the Zonk, I adjust the voltage on those to about 8.4, 8.5 volts, just to give it the flavor of a battery that's had some use. Kind of sags it a little more, warms it up a little bit, and I seem to favor that. So that's the board, and I use Pig Hog cables. Great cables. So that's the entire assembly there. That's where all the tones are from the feet. We'll go on to other stuff now. For the last maybe 3 to 4 months, all the tones from either Instagram Live or YouTube or anything I've been playing, it's this amp right here. It's kind of a homebrew built amp. A guy in town that I actually met, Evil Twin Amps. It's like a take on Tweed Deluxe meets Brown Face Deluxe. There is no reverb, but it has the phase shifting tremolo like the Brown Face amps would have. And it's really straightforward. You have a negative feedback switch here. So it totally pulls the negative feedback out of the line. And I usually just leave that out. You have your volume and you have your tone like an old Fender Tweed Princeton would be. No real EQ except right here. And then you have your intensity and your speed for the tremolo. In the back we have some old Sylvania tubes and a Celestion 10-inch speaker. But I have it running into this reverb unit here. The Van Amps reverb is a great spring reverb, classic Fender sound. So I use that in conjunction with the amp to kind of get everything I need. Tremolo, reverb, and a great sounding amp. So I can get the Tweed when I want it. I can get the Brown Face when I want it. And when you're in the Brown Face mode and you're playing through this Van Amps, it really does sound like a black face amp. So another thing I like to use, because this amp, maybe some of the great tone from it is built from old transformers from old hi-fi radios. So I'll use the Brown Box here. This is basically a voltage regulator made by Brown Box, and I run it at about 115 volts. You got to keep in mind with your old Fenders, your old amps, they weren't seeing the wall voltage that we see in today's house wiring. So keep that in mind. A lot of times when amps blow up, it's because those capacitors weren't rated to see the voltage they're seeing today. But yeah, I just use that and it keeps everything kind of kosher. Keeps it running good. Keeps it running quiet too. Lastly, for the guitars, I've been using my 57 Strat some. That's the one that I restored on here. My 59 Strat that I just put frets in, I've been breaking those frets in. And the 58 Flying V. This is almost like a historic recreation, but this guitar is just insane. It has 59 electronics in it. So yeah, you can say, oh, it's all in the pickups, but the guitar itself is extremely resonant when you're not playing it. It just feels like an old guitar. It's been aged, and it's just incredible. So I try to get the old pots in guitars when I can. So the two Strats I've been using, and while I'm waiting for the 66 Tele to be done, I'll either mess with the 57 Esquire or the 59 Les Paul Jr. I like the both of those, and surprisingly, those guitars are extremely similar. You've seen them on the channel before, so I'm not talking about anything new, but they just have great tones. Finding the best tone I can in the room while we're on lockdown.
Thank you.